Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just so excited, so excited. So I'm going to be doing a first impression of the brand new Perfect Mix eyeshadow palette from Beauty Glazed. This was released, well, I don't know if it was released a couple of months ago, but I spotted it and of course popped it in the basket. Wild horses could not have ran fast enough to have stopped me popping it in my basket. I got this from the BG makeup store from Aliexpress, which is the Beauty Glaze kind of official store, and it cost me £3.90. When I first looked at this palette, it really reminded me of the new Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette, of which the name completely isn't in my head right now. This is how the palette came to me. This is the outer packaging. It's very Huda Beauty-esque. I do believe that they have copied Huda Beauty. I mean, I can't really hate on it because it's not like it's a fake in the sense that they're pretending it's a Huda Beauty. They've just obviously completely ripped it off, you know what I mean? Which I know some people don't really like the idea of, namely Kat Von D, who, by the way, guys, still under my fucking bed. Like, literally, she will not leave. She's due to give birth any second now, and I've said to her, Kat, I may be a lot of things, but I am not a midwife. I have no idea what to do, and I will faint at the sight of blood. This is what the outer packaging looks like, and this is what the actual palette looks like. It's very kind of glittery, and it looks pretty. Okay, guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Like, I thought it was called the Perfect palette as well, because it just says Perfect, but it is the Perfect Mix palette. So this is what she looks like. She is absolutely gorgeous. We've got a mix of shimmers, we've got some mattes, we've got kind of mauvey tones, we've got beautiful pinks, we've got a peach, we've got a plum shade, an aubergine, a camel's vagina shade, and we've also got a concealer, a little situation going on down here in the corner. So I did really like the look of the Huda Beauty one, but like all Huda Beauty palettes, it's ridiculously expensive. There's no way that I could afford it, let alone justify it to myself. I could probably justify it to myself, but I just couldn't afford it. You know, two very different things. As always, I'm going to be swatching these, and then we're going to be doing an eye look, and then at the end of the video, and probably all the way throughout the video, I'll be letting you know my thoughts on the palette. So yeah. I think I'm going to swatch the mattes first, and then the shimmers I'm saving the best till last. I know a lot of you guys like matte eyeshadows best, but for me it's all about the shimmers. It's kind of like mattes are the foreplay, and then shimmers. Anyway guys, okay, so we're going to begin with this shade, which is called Raw. Oh, it feels very soft indeed. So these are all of the mattes. All I'm going to say is I've seen better matte swatches, but as always, what are swatches anyway? Can they be trusted? I don't know, but if they could, I'd say that I'm not very impressed so far. Now we're going to move on to the shimmers. I've got my vagina crossed, my boob eyes are crossed, everything is crossed right now. I want these to be outstandingly good. Oh my gosh, guys, they're not disappointing me. Oh, look at this. It's definitely very foiled-esque. Oh my gosh, let me just swatch this right now. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, guys. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Oh my gosh, it's very beautiful. And it's a beautiful shade. It's got that kind of, very soft, almost cream-like kind of texture to it, and can you see how metallic and beautiful it is? Oh yes, diggy down, diggy down, diggy down, diggy down. Okay, so guys, hold on to your panties. I feel like we have got something beautiful going on with the majority of the shimmers. This shade here and this shade at the end definitely were the more foiled and creamy and metallic looking, I'd say, out of the 6. I am feeling very optimistic about these, and I did notice that on the back of the box it does say foiled textures deliver their maximum payoff when applied with fingertips. And this palette does also claim to be cruelty free as well, which is fantasticalicious. We're going to move straight into the eye look. I forgot to set my eyes, so I'm going to be doing that in just a sec. But then I think I'm going to start by oh, we've got the concealer. I completely forgot about him. Oh my gosh, he was just there doing his own thing and I just overlook him. So I'm going to, should I use the concealer? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm a bit scared, but hey, I'm going to use it. Do you know what? Isn't it a good thing that I forgot to conceal my eyes? Let's pretend I meant to do that because now I actually get to try the concealer. Let's do it. I mean, let's do it. So, So I'm just going to like use my, oh, Shania. Guys, she's pretty orange. Like I was going to say dark. I was going to say warm, but actually she's downright orange. But she's quite pigmented. Like, do you see what I mean? Like if you compare this eye to this eye, look at all those little veins. Like I did not even know I had that many veins. Like, whoa. Okay. But look, over here, you can see they've just kind of disappeared. Not bad. I'm going to pop a little bit more on. Isn't it a really good idea to have like an eye base, you know, within your eyeshadow palette? I was watching a review of the Real Huda Beauty palette by, I can't remember her name, but I think she's called Emily. And she was saying like, well, one like possible issue that she pointed out was that when you've got like, you know, these, particularly the foiled eyeshadows around the creamy concealer, you could get like fallout from the eyeshadows going into the concealer, ultimately destroying it, you know. But I actually really like that. I have no complaints whatsoever. So I'm not going to set it. I'm just going to keep it as is. Like as is my favourite sentence ender for when I don't have anything else to say. For someone who is very socially awkward, I always struggle with like ending sentences. If you're awkward, you'll know what I mean. So if you could say things like, oh yes, just keep it as is. And then it's kind of like, yes, done, ended that. Okay, great one. So anyway, you'll be very proud of me. I did actually clean all of my brushes today prior to the filming of this video because I wanted them to be like super clean. So, oh my gosh, like this is a rare moment. All of my brushes clean. And Alex helped me as well, so that was fun. Yeah, I'm going to begin with Peachy, which is surprisingly a peach shade. So we're going to begin with that one. And I'm going to be using this AOA, kind of really fluffy brush to apply this. Did I mention as well, I'm not setting my concealer because, quite frankly, I've got better things to do with my time. I mean, not really, but I like not setting it now. By the way, this concealer is oxidizing, like as if she wasn't dark enough anyway. She's oxidizing, but it's fine. We're going to cover her up, so I don't care. I think for a very light, almost pastel-y shade, this peach is actually like making an entrance. Okay, so next we're going to go in to Camel, which is a camel vagina kind of shade, and they've very correctly called it camel, so I'm liking that. I'm just waiting for the palette to come out with the actual camel vagina shade, which probably wouldn't be brown, but I don't know, kind of, did camels have vaginas? And if they did, like, why would anyone know the colour? I don't know. This is awkward. See what I mean, guys? Or I'm awkward. She's awkward. If you're looking for some really affordable but good quality brushes on Aliexpress, I would really recommend DUPE. Just kind of patting this on. What the feck is that noise? It's doing my head in. If someone's drilling, like, and it's not my neighbour this time. Do I live in a community that constantly has to be drilling, like, or making some kind of an obnoxious noise, like just at the times when I'm filming? Just at the times when I'm filming. Or is it a helicopter? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, it's pissing me right off. Okay, so the camel shade is nice. I'm trying to use as many of the eyeshadows as I possibly can. So next we are, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to go into Dainty next, which is this beautiful kind of mauvey shade. I'm going to stick with the same brush. So far, these shadows are actually blending out really, really easily. They've got a very soft, silky kind of texture to them, which is great for an easy blend. Look at me, guys. Easy blend. Oh my gosh. How much of an asshole do I sound right now? Easy blend. Oh, yes. Like, they're not very pigmented, but I mean, the palette costs £3.90, so, you know, I have to, like, put things into perspective. Then they're not very pigmented, but it's a fucking cheap palette, is what I'm trying to say. So next we're going to go into this shade, which is called Scarlet. Okay, so I mean, I feel like I've added quite a lot of shades at this point, but yeah, not much is happening. Like, we've got a nice situation, and it definitely, like, looks a lot more in my mirror, as always, which I'm so sorry about that, guys. Like, isn't it annoying when YouTubers say, oh yes, in my mirror it looks fabulous, and that you're thinking, well, I'm the one fucking watching your video. Like, I want it to look fabulous for me as well, you know what I mean? I feel like the time has come. We're gonna beef this up a little bit. I felt bad saying that because I'm a vegetarian. Like, the word beef, like, the vegetarian police are gonna come and shoot me, like, right now. Crucify me because I said beef. Like, I used to believe that when I was little. I would go around to, like, friends' parties, and they would have little, like, you know, sandwiches cut into triangles, and they'd have, like, a chicken slice inside, and I always wanted one, like, so badly. But I always thought that if I went to pick one up, as soon as, like, my fingers touched the bread, there'd be some, like, lights flashing, and then the police would come speeding in with their blue lights are going, and they'd get their handcuffs and arrest me and do that cool thing, you know, where they put your head in the car. Like, I want that to happen. Like, I know it sounds bizarre. I want to have a moment in my life where a police person is, like, putting me into the car, and I want to get my picture taken. You're up against the... Anyway, guys, like, I'm not going to be committing any crimes anytime soon, and I'm not glorifying criminals, but do you not think, though, in the movies when they go like that, in, get the feck in, I just think it would be a great moment. Like, iconic, really. Okay, anyway, guys. Right, so I'm going to switch my brush. We're going to go in with this sexual morphe one. And I'm going to beef this up now. We're going to go into a clay, which is this shade right here. Fa, fa, fa. I kind of feel like a lot of these shades that I've used so far have kind of... I mean, they've blended beautifully together, but they've kind of all just morphed into the same shade. I find this a lot with cheaper kind of eyeshadow palettes because the formula isn't generally so pigmented. I do find that a lot of the shades can look quite similar, you know. Okay, so next, like, because I want to beef this the feck up, I'm going to go into Cocoa. We're doing Cocoa. Why not? Okay, come on, Cocoa. Give me some corned beef. I'm just kind of tapping it on to try and get as much colour as possible. I'm going to switch my brush as well. Okay, so I'm going to move to this little tiny brush, which is my favourite for, like, the outer vagina. Can you see as well my You Can Be lip products that I am going to be trying soon? Sneak peek, guys. I mean, really. Back into a Cocoa. I'm just kind of taking this all the way around. I just want to add a bit of depth and va-va-voom, you know, to this look. So, again, just kind of working slowly, just tapping on a little bit and blending. Good old tap and blend. Do you know what? I wish I got into makeup when I was a bit younger, because I do feel like now my eyelids, they've kind of gone past their heyday. As I'm blending, like, my fucking eyelids moving with the brush, and I'm just like, no, you're not meant to do that. Oh, gosh. If only I had, like, my 18-year-old eyelids again. That would be nice. I mean, really. It looks a bit patchy as well. Can you see here? Like, it just looks a bit skippy, like the kangaroo, but not really. I'm going to go in with a maroon. This is the darkest shade in the palette. It's a beautiful maroon, actually. Oh, this is a beautiful shade. Like, this is, can you see there? Oh, she's so pretty. I'm going in with more feck everything right now. Like, pop, pop, pop. I apologise if you can hear Honey singing downstairs, guys. Singing to the boys. Okay, so I really like this shade. It definitely added a lot, but I do feel like we've lost like all of the lighter shades. They've just gone into eyeshadow heaven. So I know it's looking really, really messy right now, but believe me, like I'll pull this. I'll pull it all together at the end, I promise. I'm just going to go round with this fluffy brush just to try and make everything look a bit better. But you can, like, I don't know if you agree, but like for me, I can only really see that maroon shade. It's eclipsed all other shades, like, and that's probably just because I'm crap at makeup. So I'll happily kind of blame myself for that. I'm going to go ahead and just repeat on the other eye as best I can with having a memory of a fish, and then I will be back and we're going to move on to the sexy little shimmer. Yes. Okay, so I have done the other eye. It's looking really, really messy, and I kind of blame myself for that. But also, I feel like the eyeshadows are really good because they blend really easily, but they're a bit uncontrollable. Like, they're a bit uncontrollable. And it's probably me. Like, I'm probably just shit. But I'm struggling a little bit in ways that I haven't really struggled with other palettes, if that's the best way that I can explain it. But we're going to go in with a cut crease, and I figured I would use the concealer that came in the palette because I just thought it'd be rude not to. So I've got my little Morphe brush here. Okay, so I've applied the concealer in an effort to do a cut crease, but things are not going my way today. The shade that I really, 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 really want to use is this beautiful pastel pink shade. Well, it's not pastel pink. What am I on right now? It's an icy pink. Like, what? I'm going to use this because I really, really want to use it. They did say on the palette to use your finger with the foiled eyeshadows, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm just going in and I'm going to pat this on. Oh, Shania, that's the only problem with using your finger. It's kind of difficult. Do you know what? This eyeshadow I'm not impressed with. Like, when you swatch it, it actually looks a bit powdery, doesn't it? And a bit, like, glittery. Do you know what? Like, I really wanted to use it, but now I don't know. I'll build it up a little bit more. Let's just see if we can get it to work. Oh, guys, can you see? It's quite chunky. Oh, Shania, this is why I didn't put my foundation on first. I had a feeling this was going to be messy. This is messy. This is messy. There's lots of little flakes coming off on my face. I'm not liking that, guys. How disappointing is that? Oh. Okay, so I'm going to move into umber. Like, umber swatched beautifully. It was this one. So I'm going to use that. I'm just going to go in, like, on top. Yeah, this one definitely isn't throwing off as many flakes, but it is super chunky. I don't know if that's just because I've got the pink on underneath. But it looks so chunky. Holy vaginas. Oh, wow, guys. Oh, she looks chunky as feck. Do you know what? I'm going to use a bit of my makeup setting spray. And I'm going to use a brush. I'm just going to see, like, if it's possible to apply these wet with a brush, because otherwise you're never going to be able to create, like, a cut creasy kind of look. Okay, so I've just kind of gone over it all with a wet brush. Like, I think when my eyelid is like this, it looks really, really nice. But as soon as, like, my eyelid goes back into its wrinkly, sad self, it just looks like chunky. I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Obviously, like, I'm not going to put the pink on. I'm just going to start with my finger and just kind of pat it on. Yeah, it looks just as chunky on this eye without the pink underneath. I suppose, though, that's just foil shadows for you, isn't it? Like, it looks so chunky. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, guys. So, gonna go in with the wet brush. I mean, the quality of these eyeshadows is actually pretty beautiful, but the way that it's just, like, what's going on? It looks shit there. It looks like there's nothing even on my eyelid because it's made my eyelids look so chunky. Look. Can you see? Okay now. But watch this. Hello. Hello. I am chunky eyelid person. Oh my gosh. Like, Do you think this is like too chunky that it's unacceptable? Or do you think that this is just part of the territory with like foiled kind of eyeshadows? Do you think it's just my fault for being 34 and having wrinkly eyelids? Like, what is it? Like, because I don't really want to be blaming the palette if it's actually just my age's fault, you know what I mean? Someone's sawing something now. It's a Sunday, guys. Like, why are people DIYing right now on a fucking Sunday? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just do the rest of my makeup and then I will be back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the palette. Okay, so I've applied my base, highlighter, lip gloss. I'm kind of liking the look a bit more now that everything else is on my face. I did kind of blend out a little bit more because it was looking messy. So I did a bit of like blend and here we are. So for under my eyes, I'm going to use the beautiful maroon shade and then I think I'm just going to like blend it out with a little bit of, I think khaki, oh no, bisque. It's called bisque. Oh, it's called bisque. Okay, and I'm now going to blend that out with bisque. Okay, so I am finally finished. I feel like this has taken a lifetime. It's been a very fun lifetime, but it's taken a long time. And by the way, that's no reflection on the palette. The palette was exceedingly like easy to use. I've just been fecking around basically. So this is the final look. I actually think that now that I've got all my other makeup on, the eyelids don't look as chunky and I actually really love the look of the kind of foiled eyeshadow because I just think it looks almost like glitter, maybe because of all my wrinkles. You know, it kind of, you know, catches all the light, but I really like it. I like the mattes that I used, although what I will say is, like, you've obviously got a lot of shades in this palette, but I did find that the lighter shades, so the peachy one, the camel vagina, and even like raw, I did find that they all kind of morphed into being like the same kind of shade. The only shade that I used that I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful, is the maroony kind of shade, which I think is like a brilliant, beautiful kind of, you know, smoky, like vixen-y kind of shade. I really like that one. I wasn't as impressed with the shimmers as I thought I was going to be, particularly, you know, obviously the pink one, that was shit. I really did like umber at first. I didn't like it. I was not feeling it. I was thinking, holy vaginas, this is shit, because it's making my eyelids look terrible. But it's kind of settled nicely on the eyelids and I kind of like it now. I like the overall look. I like the palette. I would have no qualms in recommending it. I think if you were to buy this, you would find it easy to work with. The shadows, are they pigmented? Not really, but they blend out nicely and you can kind of definitely build them up. The shimmers, I've only tried two. One was disappointing, one was okay. But I think if you're like me and you've got textured, wrinkly, sad looking eyelids that have lived a life, I think that you probably wouldn't appreciate the chunkiness of the shimmers. But do you know what? At the end of the day, this palette cost £3.90. So when I'm looking at it like in that context, that it costs £3.90. I think it's fucking exceptional. I think it's easy to forget sometimes, like when I am trying out these cheaper kind of palettes, I think it's easy to forget actually they're so cheap. And I'm kind of comparing them in my mind against like ABH, Urban Decay, Jeffree Star, Zoeva. But it's a completely different kettle of fish, you know. And I think for the price, you're getting a really good quality of eyeshadow. And I think they've made a real effort with the palette, completely ripped off Huda Beauty. She's going to be pissed. But then didn't she copy Beauty Bakery as well? I feel like everyone copies everyone in the end anyway. So yeah, I like the palette. If you've had your eye on the palette, or if you've bought the palette but it's not arrived yet, I think you're going to like it. Like, I'm optimistic. I feel like you're saying, but Anwen, should we buy it? What do you think? So if you're attracted to this kind of colour family and you like a foiled eyeshadow, then I'd say go for it. What have you got to lose? £3.90. But yeah, I can't see you hating the palette. I can't see you, you know, in disgust, throwing it out of your car window when you're on the motorway going at 70 miles an hour. So anyway guys, I am going to go, leave you in peace. I really hope that you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Well done to Beauty Glazed for creating what is actually a really good palette for £3.90, like, and it's cruelty free. I mean, yes, well done, well done. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go and I'll see you in the next video.